The Scottish gender reforms, the ability of somebody who has gone through some sort of gender realignment to register their alternative gender legally. This is not a reform which is about requesting gender realignment. It's about recognizing it. And England says that this means that our equality laws are inconsistent across the country. This may well be true, but this is a modification which was proposed initially by the Conservative government currently in power in 2017, and then they haven't acted upon this. So whatever one thinks about the gender issue, this has now become a constitutional issue. Nicola Sturgeon says it's going to end up in the courts. Now, there are those people who will say that the Scottish government was being deliberately provocative. There are those who will say that the English government, the government in Westminster, is being deliberately hangdoggish and deliberately confrontational. I find it extraordinary that at this particular time, when there are constitutional anxieties and the fate of the union of our kingdom is in question, that the government in Westminster should choose to pick a fight over this particular subject and issue a Section 35 order to prevent the Gender Recognition Reform Scotland Bill from gaining royal assent. It is quite extraordinary. And Mr. Jack says that this will have an adverse effect on single-sex clubs, association schools, protections such as equal pay. Well, given the fact that this government doesn't seem to give a damn about equal pay and is quite content to allow people who were clapped during the pandemic to have very poor pay indeed, and to be working under such conditions that many nurses, for example, are forced to go to food centres to top up their needs on a weekly basis. This is extraordinary. Miss Sturgeon is absolutely right when she told the political editor of the BBC, Chris Mason, that Mr. Jack was making a profound mistake and that this was a direct attack on the institution of the Scottish Parliament. If the Scottish Parliament has power and it can be removed at the whim of the Westminster Parliament, then it is rather like a child playing in a tent in the garden and pretending to be self-sufficient. When it starts raining, his mother or her mother will call the child in and tell them to go to bed properly. This is playing at authority. This is not devolving authority. If it can be taken away, it means absolutely nothing.